Hello everybody, and welcome to another Core Set 2021 draft video here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or feedback. Be sure to click that bell as well, so that you get notified when I post new videos, and check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. For once, I'm not the last person holding up the table, so let's go. We did it. And we have opened some sweet ones. In this pack, there are fantastic white commons. Bowser's Acolyte and Feat of Resistance are actually, I think, the top two white commons. They're just, Bowser's is just such a great curve topper for an aggressive deck, and Feat of Resistance is a fantastic combat trick slash protection spell slash make your creature unblockable and win spell. However, Maze Mind Tome is where my heart lies in this pack. This card is always just like a nice little performer. It can give your aggro decks extra tools, though you generally want it in more of a mid-range to control deck. Whales, worms, let's see. And it also, just being a colorless card is a huge edge. If this wasn't in the pack, I think I would lean towards the Bowser's Acolyte over the Feat of Resistance, and then Rousing Reed third in this pack, followed maybe by Vrine Wingmare, but after that it gets a little bit sketchy on what comes after that. But I think that the 1, 2, 3, 4 is the top 4 in this pack, but just this being colorless is a huge little addition to the squad. The life gain's also super relevant on this card. Following it up, the best card in this pack is by a mile Llanowar Visionary. Nothing else is even remotely close. This is actually one of the easiest picks I've had in a long time. Unsubstantiate is flexible, but it's not that great. And I think that this card, 2 for 1 immediately, you get a 2/2 body, draw a card. That would already be good, but it taps for mana, which is even better as well. After that, this pack goes significantly downhill. I think Traitorous Greed is something you could consider, just because in the black-red deck, this can be one of your better cards. That being said, I don't think you want to take this card and try to move into black-red, so maybe I would take the Unsubstantiate just because it is pretty flexible. Thrill is also pretty solid, if you have, especially if a good card to dig to, or you're playing a spells deck. Wall has overperformed for me in my drafts. I actually kind of want 2 copies in my blue control decks, but here we're going to get the Llanowar Visionary. It's pretty excellent here. And next pack, I will say that the Griffin Airy is a pretty nice combo with the Maze Mind Tome. When this thing dies, you get the 4 life, as long as you use the draw on your turn, so that you can then get a Griffin. Other cards in this pack that are good, Rousing Reed is always nice. I like that a lot, so I think we're going to take this. I will say that Goblin Wizardry can oftentimes be pretty nice if you build your deck around it, but it only really goes in blue-red, and you want to make sure you have, Mac Moosh just trying to spite the people at the table, lol. But yeah, it works best in blue-red because you can use opts, crash throughs, cheap cantrippy type spells to really make these guys big in one big turn. I think it's pretty clearly Rousing Reed in this pack, though. It's just the best card in the pack by quite a bit, I think. Griffin Airy is too inflexible to build around. And after this card, honestly, it might be correct to take Goblin Wizardry. Rambunctious Mutt has been impressive to me. A lot of the time it's just a 3/4, but in the games where you kill something, it feels like you can't lose a lot of the time. But we're off to a nice start with our blue-green deck here. Following that up, Jeskai Elder's a nice one. It's especially a good combo with Rousing Reed. I've actually been very impressed with this card, especially if you can get opts. It really works well with the opt, but other than that, it's still going to be a good card. And we could still move towards a blue-red deck. There is a crash through in this pack, so maybe we can transition towards red. Bad Deal, I think, is at its best at the top end of a mid-range deck that skews aggro. So the best deck I ever had it in was my curve topped at 4, and then I just added a Bad Deal. So it actually technically topped at 6, I guess, if you include the Bad Deal. But I really like the Jeskai Elder. I'm really much lower on Skyscanner. It's a card that can be a role player in a deck, but it's never a great card in the deck, and I oftentimes find myself wanting to cut it because it doesn't fit with my game plan as well. And Jeskai Elder's a 2-drop, which I do put a high priority on. Also, Rousing Reed plus Jeskai Elder's a nice little combo. I think Lofty Denial is actually a pretty decent consideration in this pack because it's not over the Jeskai Elder, but it's actually quite a nice card that I've been pretty impressed by. Okie doke. And then following that up, Tide Skimmer can definitely be a nice little player in these decks. There are some black cards, there's a Fetid Imp, Gloomsower, and Steward, but of those 3, I don't think these 2 are even playable. So even though there's a lot of black cards, that's not really a good signal point, because Fetid Imp's not great. I think Tide Skimmer is definitely the highest upside card, especially if I have things like Rousing Reed to give myself a surprise haste flyer. So if I have a Tide Skimmer in play and a random Llanowar Visionary, I can then Rousing Reed the Visionary, attack them, and draw a card. And once you get this thing going and drawing 2 cards a turn, it can be very devastating. After this, I think I would maybe just take either Fetid Imp to speculate into black, or just take a Ranger's Guile, because it does work well with the Elder, or protecting a creature with Rousing Reed on it. Rookie Mistake is not particularly playable. Celestial Enforcer is not a priority for me ever. And, oh man, this is a really tricky spot here. Because I do love speccing onto Frantic Inventory in packs like this. Especially because Frantic Inventory, like, getting the first copy is such a high value thing. Because then if you get future copies, it's really nice. That being said, there's also Chandra's Magma, which is pretty late for that. There's also Crash Through, so we could be moving towards Blue-Red. But if we are in Blue-Red, we would love to have 3 copies of Frantic Inventory. So I think even in a Blue-Red deck, we would love to have these Frantic Inventories to fuel things like our Elders, our Spellgorger Weirds, any of our other spells cards. And if you can get 3 or 4 of these, you can just like win you the late game at any point. So I like having the Frantic Inventory here over the Magma. And then I think third, I would take the Crash Through over the Portcullis Vine. And now there's another Rousing Reed. I like continuing to pick these up. They do work well with the Tide Skimmer, the Jeskai Elder. And we are just kind of sticking to blue. Blue-red has seemed semi-open. I don't love Protege. It's kind of inefficient and clunky. I think it's okay if you are going into a blue-black direction, where you actually care about getting cards in your graveyard. But as just like a mana sink for your deck, I'd rather have like Rousing Reed. And you do want to like have a slightly aggro bent with Rousing Reed, but I still think it's better than the Protege. And now there's a Magma. There's also an Unsubstantiate. I think we will take the Magma at this point, though. I don't love Unsubstantiate. And I think Magma, getting our feelers into red is going to be nice, because red has seemed relatively open. Now there's a Turn to Slag, a third Rousing Reed, a Thrill of Possibility. I think we want to keep taking Rousing Reeds, maybe. Just because, maybe 3 of them is too many, but it's just such a good card. It turns any 2-drop into like a real threat. And also, we're not sure we're going to play red. Like, sure, Thrill is fine, but I think Rousing Reed's better than Thrill. Turn to Slag is just like fine removal. And this leaves us open to opening something like a Baneslayer Pack 2, which is definitely nice upside. Read the Tides can be okay. I think we're going to take the Wall of Runes, maybe, over Trader's Greed. Trader's Greed is not a card that I'm super hyped to play in any deck except Black-Red, and we're definitely playing blue here. And if we end up in like a blue-black Reanimator deck, I could see this being good. Pyreling isn't a card I love either. And now, Spined Megalodon does go well with Rousing Reed. If we do end up in a blue-black deck Reanimator, we would want this. And it's like good because you can pitch it with this. So I think we take that over the Rambunctious Mutt. Also, if we just end up in a blue-white control deck or a blue-green control deck, this could also be fine. So I think we'll take this over the Mutt and the Alchemist's Gift. And now Lofty Denial works really well with all these Rousing Reeds. Late Crash Through, I will say. But here we're basically mono blue going into Pack 2, which I love, because that means that we will have, late Crash Through. Real nice. Last pick, Snoop. Probably just try. They're sending me a red signal with that one. Well, we opened up the Premier Blue Finisher card. That was pretty awesome. But we're basically mono blue right now. We can go any direction from here. Blue-red did look the most open, especially seeing this last pick Snoop. If the person passing to us was playing red, they would have passed us the basic land, but this last pick Snoop basically makes me believe that blue-red is open, and that would be a good color to get into. We also saw second to last pick Crash Through and late Chandra's Magma, so I think blue-red is where we're going to try and end up. Sublime Epiphany is a fantastic addition to this deck. Just pretty much dominates any situation. We will want some creatures to go with that. Hopefully Lofty Denial Wheels, or maybe another Wall, because we can just play a nice blue control shell, though with Rousing Reed we want to have a couple of assertive cards. But I think this is going to be the easy pick. After that I would probably take the Dragonfire over one of these blue cards, because I think red is the most open color. But we'll just take the Epiphany now. Okay, so I will say that green did not look remotely open in Pack 1. We didn't see a single good green card. Like we saw, Portcullis Vine was like the best green card we saw, and that was like relatively late in the process, and it's not even that good of a green card. And we like second picked the Llanowar Visionary, so I don't think green is open. I don't think black is open either. We didn't see any Deathbloom Thalids, any Skeleton Archers, not even any Crypt Lurkers, or Rise Against, or any of that. So I think we just want to stick to blue or take red cards. And I think this Turn to Slag might wheel. I think that just getting a nice blue 2-drop is going to be great for us. So I think we're just going to take the Keen Glide Master here. 2-drop into Rousing Reed is definitely something we want to facilitate if we can. But Llanowar Visionary is definitely a good card as well. I just don't think we're going to be moving towards green. And getting good 2-drops is the key for a lot of decks in this format. Sky Scanner, not great. We're just going to take the Wizardry, because we already have this Crash Through, and I think red-blue is going to be the most open Pack 3. Skyscanner's okay as well. Green should be open this pack. The way it works in draft, I always love explaining this concept because it's just one of those big level up moments you have, is in pack 1, if I don't see any green cards, it means the person passing to me is in green, most likely. Especially when they're sending me all these blue cards and these red cards and things like that. And that means in pack 2, I might see a ton of good green cards and I think, oh, green is going to be great. I should jump into green. But the problem is if I jump into green, then in pack 3, I don't get any green and I'm left in kind of a bad spot. So getting a Goblin Wizardry here just kind of keeps me, oh yeah, Riddle Form or Opt. Staying away from green here means that I'm going to get paid off down the line. Okay, so here I would love an Opt. I don't want Rookie Mistake in this deck. Riddle Form's just too good though, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I would rather just have Opt than Riddle Form. Riddle Form doesn't block, but it is such a good beater, and if I get any Opts, it's really nice. So we're just gonna keep taking. We're gonna take the Riddle Form. Larcenist normally is a card that I very much dislike, but it is nice with triple Rousing Read, so maybe it's worth it in this deck. I don't think that's a good consideration, Magistatorian, because I think I would play as many Opts as I could get in this deck, and it's more so like which card is better rather than looking at the uncommon symbol. With certain cards, it's like, oh, I'm not likely to see another one of these later, like, oh, a Sanctum. It's an uncommon. But with cards like where it's just a power level consideration, I don't really care about the rarity. Booyah. Second Frantic Inventory. If we get a third, we could be cooking with fire here. We've gotten both of these pick 6, so I don't think anyone else is going for the Frantic Inventory train. And now there's a turn to slag. I don't like Palladium Mirror. Maybe it's okay with all these Rousing Reads and all this card draw and some expensive stuff, but I'd rather just get a removal spell, I think. There's another Obsessive Stitcher, but again, I don't think black was super open in pack 1. And I do like having access to 1 turn to slag. That's pretty amazing. This is Katana. But yeah, Palladium Mirror has been underperforming in my experience, and turn to slag is going to be pretty solid in my deck. Hobble Fiend would also be okay, probably as just a 2-drop. And now it crashed through. We just want as many like cheap spells as we can get, I think. I like these with my Riddle Form, my Jeskai Elder, just fueling any like other spells payoffs like Goblin Wizardry. So I think it's much better than Tome Anima. Lofty Denial came back. I like that. Yeah, 7 sounds sick. I don't like too many at all. We're not going to play Unleashed Fury. We'll just take the Wall of Runes because we don't want to pass any blue cards. I don't know if this is a Wall of Runes deck, though. I'm glad we had that Keen Glide Master. This is definitely not a Spined Megalodon deck. That's amazing, AJ Benster. Yeah. Teferi's Tutelage would probably be okay in this deck, too. If we got that, because we have a couple draw spells, Maze Mind, Rousing Reads. Tide Skimmer is actually looking pretty solid in this deck. Let's see if anyone I know is in this pod. It's unlikely. I guess we could take Wishcoin Crab. We don't mind passing these green and white cards, so we'll just do our best to keep the person to our right in those colors. We'll keep passing those cards. I mean, you never know if it'll be a tiebreaker that does anything. Okay, last pack here. Definitely going to be on Scorching Dragonfire. Solemn Simulacrum is great, but this deck doesn't really need mana acceleration. It doesn't really need a random 2/2. And I think Scorching Dragonfire is just the perfect card for a blue-red spells deck. Just does everything I want. If I get any of the blue-red uncommon, it's going to be really nice, because this deck is a pretty good home for it. And yeah, just cheap removals premium in this format. Solemn is a great card, though. And now Shipwreck Dowser has to be the pick here. It's an infinite combo with Sublime Epiphany, so I think we have to take it. It is sad to pass up on another Scorching Dragonfire, but we need spells payoffs. This is a nice little payoff. Like, sure, we have a Jeskai Elder, which is kind of a spells payoff. Riddle Form is kind of a spells payoff. This is spells payoff, but this is another spells payoff and also is an infinite combo. So you got to take the infinite combo when you can get it. The way the infinite combo works is you use Sublime Epiphany, copy the Shipwreck Dowser to get back to Sublime Epiphany, and then just use the other modes. Yeah, so sorry, Scorching. Gotta take the Shipwreck. But Shipwreck can be a Scorching when I get it back in the late game. Frost Breath could actually be okay in this deck. Sure Strike might be okay as well. Another thing with that pick is there were 2 good red cards in that pack, and so maybe the Chandra's Magma will wheel it when the other red drafter takes Scorching. I don't think we're a Palladium Mirror deck. Frost Breath could be okay, actually. We have like some card draw to make up for the tempo loss. I don't mind Sure Strike either. How many creatures do we have? 6 creatures. Yikes, that's a little bit on the low end, shall I say. This is also kind of a creature. I think we'll just take Frost Breath. It's fine to play as a 1-of. And now Shock, pretty easy pick here. I wish we had a Spellgorger Weird, but we're going to be a fine controlling deck. This is an easy pick though. We need to make sure we get some cheap interaction. And this is just that. After that I would probably take the Rousing Reed, but maybe Lofty Denial would be better. Boom, cha-ching. That's an amazing pickup. I would love another Frantic Inventory. I don't think I would just play it with 2. Unless I was really kind of desperate. I think this deck has enough good stuff that it's not going to need it. Badoom. Badoom. Psh. Got the 3rd one. I love it. I was literally just talking about you, Frantic Inventory. I think we got 1 pick 6 every single pack, which is really funny. I don't think we need... I guess we don't... We already have 1 turn to slag. That's fine. We have a turn to slag, a Shock, a Dragonfire, and then like Overload and Shipwreck Dowser can get back more of them, so... And now Rain of Revelation, or Wizardry, or maybe Arcanist. Huh. I don't think Arcanist is a consideration. I think we might want the Goblin Wizardry, though. Yeah, we're going to just take the card draw. It's just so nice. It can help me find my Sublime Epiphany more frequently. Wow, that's a late grasp. Now we'll just take the random uncommons because we don't care about signaling anymore. Late Read the Tides. Sure Strike, sure, not gonna play it. I don't know if Frost Breath is making it in. Rain of Revelation versus Goblin Wizardry is interesting, but I think Rain of Revelation is just a very powerful card draw engine here. I have a lot of card draw in this deck, so I think I will want to play this Wall of Runes. Maybe even both of them. I could see playing the Spine Megalodon too. We're not going to be a very, like, aggro deck, so we might not even want the first Goblin Wizardry I have. Another Lofty Denial is nice. You don't need Burn Bright for Wizardry. I've never played Burn Bright, and I don't plan on it, really. Don't think we need to Read the Tides. I don't think we need... Huh. Sure, we'll just take the Titanic Growth. Okay, we don't have a ton of creatures. We have 10 creatures. We're gonna cut this guy. Wishcoin Crab is just worse than Wall of Runes. Yeah, Frost Breath does look mediocre. I think we might cut it. I just think we might need a way to stall an extra turn. I might even cut Wizardry from this deck. It's gonna be pretty good though. I think we want 1 copy. That seems fine. I like the Spine Megalodon, I think, as a top end card, but maybe we don't need it. I like Glide Master. I like all my counters. They're pretty nice. I just don't love Larcenist. Yeah, well, you have to see the pieces for that, and we saw a couple Wizardries, but we didn't have the cantrip support, and I think this deck is better because we have like late game stuff that's actually really good. You kind of want to change the way you draft based on the stuff you have, for sure. Probably cut Frost Breath. We have this infinite combo at the top end. I could see cutting a Larcenist for sure. The reason I like Crash Through is it works with Wizardry, it works with Jeskai Elder, and also just having random sorceries to make this thing bigger is really nice. I don't think we want the Larcenist. Sure, it's a nice combo with Rousing Reed, but normal creatures are just good combos with Rousing Reed as well. Maybe I'm supposed to cut a Rousing Reed. I don't have a ton of creatures. Making this into a 1/5 is solid. Draw 2, discard 1 is also nice. Digs me towards my Epiphany. We don't have a lot of creatures. I don't like cutting early drops in this format. It just never ends well when I cut cards that are early drops. This isn't really a great early drop because it's kind of hard to cast. Maybe I cut both Crash Throughs. I have a lot of stuff. I have like frantic inventories and stuff. Maybe I cut those. I only have 7 creatures. What would I cut here? I think always is a strong word. I mean, I like having them for the griddle form too, I guess. It does seem weird to have 3 Rousing Reeds with very few creatures. We have 1 flyer in the riddle form, 2 flyers in this, and then 3 Rousing Reeds to also turn on Lofty Denial. So I could see going cut 1, cut 1. I think I am going to play 16 lands for sure. We're definitely heavier blue than red, but we don't have very demanding mana requirements, so I think we still go 8/8. I disagree, AI Benster. The walls are super nice because they just block a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be winning in the air with my Rousing Reeds or my late game combo loops and stuff. I've been very impressed by wall when you have card draw. Dang, this is a weird deck. I don't know if we're a Wizardry deck. Wizardry has impressed me. I could cut Tide Skimmer, but it seems kind of nice with the Rousing Reeds. I think that's a fine cut. Okay, we have 6 creatures now, but Goblin Wizardry's like a creature. Definitely not a Sure Strike deck. Lofty Denial, probably not. Another Rousing Reed is tempting, but I don't know what I would cut for it. When in the games where we don't draw Sublime Epiphany, it's going to be a little bit tricky to win sometimes, I think. But we have Riddle forms and stuff to chip in. So yeah, I think I like it like this, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, especially those who support me at the credits level. I really appreciate the support, and thank you so much for helping me continue to produce high quality content on a consistent basis. It really does help me out a ton, and if you'd like more information about what it means to become a patron and the cool rewards you get as my way of saying thank you, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. Round 1. On the play, we have a Crash Through to help us draw. We have 2 draws. We have, I say 3 draws, kind of, because we have second turn's draw step, plus a Crash Through. We really need to hit Island, and really only Island. I guess another Crash Through is a redraw. So that gives us, like, so we have 33 cards left, 32 because Crash Through is a redraw at an Island. And we have 2 draw steps with, like, 1 and 8 at each one. No, I mean, 8 out of 32 is 1/4, so we have like a 50% chance of getting there. I think we're gonna mulligan. This is much better. Far superior as a hand. And we're just gonna pitch Wall of Runes, I think, or Lofty Denial. I think Shock is better than Wall of Runes. I like the lofty denial. One thing I like about the lofty denial is I can hold it up, and then if they don't cast anything worth countering, I can just frantic inventory. Sure. Booyah. Just gonna do this now. I've learned not to wait when you have, when they could have Feet of Resistance. Crash through to power this guy up is kind of nice. Okay. Nice. So we're going to start off with crash through. Give ourselves more information before we loot. We're going to get rid of the mountain, I think. And then I think we just play hold up lofty denial. Counter that pretty nicely. Them attacking is nice as well, because now I can potentially loot away this riddle form. We just want to keep hitting land drops. Take action, discard. Either riddle form or lofty. Probably the riddle form. I'm going to play land and then hold up and play either riddle form or lofty. I like holding up a counterspell. If I played riddle form, I could have gotten an extra scry. Not really. I'm getting another loot in. So I'll take 8 here. Counter, return a permanent, create a token, draw a card. Return Siege Striker, target creature I control, target me to draw a card. Booyah. Okay. We're gonna get a double loot off before we decide anything. Maybe the extra damage will matter. Let's just cast. I find it hard to believe we're not going to cast this, but if we draw, I guess Shipwreck Dowser will want to cast that. Get rid of Mountain. That's interesting. I think we just give it a Rousing Read now. Sure. We're not going to use this quite yet. We will attack with these two. Want to keep getting those loot triggers off. Get rid of a land, the island probably. And loot away this mountain. There's our combo. Okay, that's fine by me. We're gonna put a counter on this guy, so I will want to hold back a chump blocker. So let's draw a crash through just to see what we get. That could be okay. Just nickel and dime, nickel and dime. Don't think we want the Glide Master. Since we have a little bit of card draw. Oh my gosh, Nicolai and dime, holy heck. Yeah, well, we got the win. Let's go. That deck performed really well. Really well. Ooh, top 100 again. Let's see if there's any changes we want to make to it after seeing that game one. Definitely don't want to cut Goblin Wizardry. That was pretty key takeaway there. I definitely think Wall of Runes has a good home in this deck. Crash Through was great. Lofty Denial was good. But again, I don't think I want too many copies because it does fall off a little bit in the late game. We do have an Experimental Overload. Would Reign of Revelation, what would I take? Maybe Reign of Revelation would have been better as a Goblin Wizardry, but it's hard to say. I like having as much card draw to find this as possible. I think not having the Rousing Read and the Lofty Denial is fine in this deck. Tide Skimmer would not have been good or necessary. Yep, I like the way it's configured right now. I'll see you folks in the next round. This is a fantastic hand. I was just telling Big Magic that we need to see how this deck performs when it doesn't draw its key card, but I guess we'll have to check that out another day. Get our 2-drop out there, start the pressure train. Get owned. I don't have to, I'd rather just trade these off. Gosh darn it. Give me some land. I will scry with this to try and hit a land here. Big draw step, and we hit there. Perfect. Yikes. Kind of just want to kill this thing now. And then I'll shock them on before combat. If they have feet, I'm in trouble. Perfect. They just discard. Perfect. Just trying to save some damage there. Ooh, it's gonna be tricky to beat the Hollow Blade, gotta be said. Four, 8, 11. We're gonna scry here. There's a land. I think it's going to be good enough, hopefully. Combined with the 4 life from that, it should be. We don't need a land now. Return a permanent, create a copy, draw a card. Return target non-land permanent. Return that one. Target a creature I control. Return that one. Target a player. I will draw a card. Get back the Sublime Epiphany. And I go to 2 so that I lose to a shock. Not super interested in that. And this way I also can just bounce this guy next time. Just gonna draw another card. Perfect. Now next turn I can use Epiphany and an island. I'll bounce the 4-2 this turn, yeah, if they... Yes! Stabilized at 3 life. Doesn't even leave shock as an out. Oh, that was close. That was close. Phew! Phew! Oh my gosh, barely got there, but narrowly squeaked it in. It is funny because we had this basically exact same hand in a previous iteration, but we were on the play. And I think in this situation we're supposed to keep it. Because we have crash through to dig, and then we have 3 draws at an island instead of 2. So we draw on the first turn, second turn, maybe the third turn in a pinch, and we also have an extra draw. So we have like 4 draws to hit one of our 8 sources in like 32 cards. So I think that's... Oh, beautiful! First try! Never a doubt in my mind. Oh yeah. That's the key. You have to think of it through, but I think that was definitely a keep here. Okay, the Immolator. We're going to hold up our Lofty Denial or a Frantic Inventory. That is not a card I care about. Wizardry could be good. See what we find off this bad boy. Okay, another Rousing Reed, not ideal. We're going to be drawing 2 cards off this Frantic Inventory, and then next turn we can go Riddle Form plus Lofty Denial. We're not under a ton of pressure at the moment. They missed a land drop, which is good for me. Ooh, another Frantic Inventory. I like it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I want to discard the hand size, or do I want to keep holding up Lofty Denial? I like holding up Lofty, but I also kind of want to... Let's just play this guy. It's close. I could have played Wizardry there, I guess. They whiffed again, luckily. Ooh, that's good for us. Land is good. Crash through the sorcery. Draw 3. I feel like they might have Sure Strike. Unfortunately, now they trade with this, but they were going to be able to trade for it anyway. Okay, that is fine. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll scry. Turn to Slag seems fine to me. Okay, we're gonna get back a Frantic Inventory. Sure, Burlfist Oak, that will die soon. Play our Chandra's Magma. Yeah, Dowser's so good. Cat says hi. Okay, I'll go get the cat after this game, Julio. Okay. Okay, I think we want to just play the Wizardry here. I don't think we've made a land drop yet. Ooh, that's a good one. This is an 8/8 right now. And then we'll just start holding up Sublime Epiphany or something. Okay, the Mauler's definitely bad. We have a lot of cards in this deck. We didn't even need the Epiphany. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, nice! Number 66. I'll see you folks in the next round. Welcome to another round. We will keep this on the play. Now we can finally just jam Riddle Form on turn 2. Fantastic, Big Magic. Well, that worked out. The wall will hold back the save here. Don't need the land right now. I can block that with my guy, but I think we're just going to counter that. Yeah. Time to chip in for 3. That's a good draw. We're going to probably shoot the Selfless Savior with our Scorching. Yep, putting the counter on itself makes a lot of sense there. Take action. Hold up Scorching slash Maze Mind, but it's most likely we're just gonna use Maze Mind now that we have that. We'll see what they have. Okay. They will sack this. Sure. I think I like this better now. Do they really have feeder resistance? No, they do not. Whoops, did not mean to give that flying. We'll scry. Hopefully we find something like a crash through. Nope, okay. Now we get a scry going. This game's not great. That was like a really good trick for them to have. Pride Vulcan's a massive threat. It's like a Colossal Dreadmaw, but on turn 4. See what we find. Lofty. Lofty's not bad. It's just not great. It is like a hard counter a lot of the time here. Okay, we'll keep it on top. I didn't mean to make that a creature. I should have attacked with this probably. That was quite poor. If it gets swift response though, I'm in trouble. Oh, they played around Lofty Denial. Yikes. Well, that's bad. Sure. I take 5. No, why? No, I needed to make my guy a creature. What was that? Oh my gosh, that was so bad. What the heck, Nikolai? Oh my gosh, they don't have any stuff up. That was a total like misclick basically. Okay, that's bad. I need to draw my Sublime Epiphany now. Oh, I meant to scry on upkeep. Oh well. Well, that was a horror show. Absolutely unreal. That should not be there. Oof. I don't really count those as punts. It was more of a misclick than a punt, because I made the right play. I just have to pretend that if this thing wasn't in play. We can still win this, though. I have a Keen Glide Master I can draw with this. Dang. Wow, just messed up the Riddle Form trigger. That's so dumb. Do I have any outs left? Maybe. I would have won this game if I'd countered that Truffle Snout, I think. Oh, the pain. Oh, it's such a painful moment. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was terrible. I hate misclicks like that, but they happen. We're gonna keep this hand. Still feeling the pain of that last loss. This is not the best hand I've ever had. I'll just say it. Oh, that makes the hand a lot better. Oh my gosh. Just like that, the hand became good. Just gonna do that. Yeah, misclicks happen. Well, this one just became very difficult to win. I'm just gonna straight up say it. All my card draw means very little here. I still have to cast this. I'm gonna get rid of the Rousing Reed though. I'm gonna wait for this to be slightly bigger. Rolly J. Roland, thanks so much for the subscription. I appreciate that support. Oh my gosh, Lofty Denial, too good. Get wrecked, opponent. What do I want for my graveyard? I think I'm going to cast the Overload this turn. I don't think I want another Lofty Denial. Let's get Scorching Dragonfire, maybe. We're not going to play the Wall of Runes. It doesn't really do anything. Gosh darn it. Get back. Frantic inventory. That's a good one to put in. Hey, they milled both of them. Nice. This is now a draw 3. Won't matter though. Yep, can't win. This is our worst matchup by far. We're a very low damage deck. Mill is the ultimate equalizer. I can never beat it. No one else can ever beat it because it's just a stupid deck. They've only milled one land. They milled a couple. My deck just doesn't have creatures to deal damage with. It's just like a long... Yeah, we can concede. Oh my gosh. Well, that was 2 tilting matches in a row. Wow. I can't believe it. I went down 80 places because of those 2 games. Unreal. I don't know if we won the die roll. Okie doke. Glide Master. Well, there we go. Got, you love to see it. Sure thing, buddy. We're gonna Rain of Revelation this turn, and then we'll Wall of Runes next turn to block this thing. I'm gonna pitch Frantic Inventory, I think. What do I want to get back? Maybe Rain of Revelation, Frantic Inventory. Rain is pretty nice. Don't need a land. We have a nice couple blockers for the Arsonist. Ugh. We want to have something nice to copy. And if they don't do anything, we can just cast a Rain of Revelation. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Counter, return, create a token. Return an online permanent. We will return your Goblin Arsonist that has a dub on it. Because that is scarier than the 2/2 token. Creature we control will copy that one. Target a player to draw a card. We'll scry first. It's doing pretty well, Outlaw. I messed up with a misclick one time and then lost a mill, but other than that, it's been pretty dominant. And we get another win. Let's go! Hey, we're back at it. You jump really crazily. The farther down you go, you can just make the biggest swings when you win or lose. See you folks in the next round. Another round. We win the die roll. We're playing against a head dude who's a streamer that I have watched. Sasha. His name is Sasha. Pretty cool. He's a great player. Like, he's really good. So this could be tricky. Gonna lead with this. We're probably gonna go Rousing Reed next. White-green. There's nothing white-green can do to kill that creature at that point in time. Get rid of Island. You could have Swift Response, but it's not super likely in white-green, because they're oftentimes not going to run it in their beatdown deck. Pride Malkin, sure. We're beating down right now. Our deck doesn't really support beatdown that well, but we have Lofty Denial to stop their next play. Luckily, we can kill that. That's a great draw. We'll keep that for sure. Sure. Turn to Slag should be good. Sure. Beautiful. See what combat trick they got. Sure. Sure, it resolves. I could have dug another card deep and looked for shock, I guess. I need to find shock, I think. So if I shoot the Gale Swooper... I can gain 4 life now. I can make my flyer. Yeah, this looks good to me. Because now I can pump this up to a 4 at instant speed with my frantic inventory. Draw 2. Seems okay to me. Yep. We'll draw first, see what we find. Get back another frantic inventory. I think I need to find my Sublime Epiphany. Hello, Pie. That's a bummer. There it is. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we counter, return, copy, draw. Return this thing, copy that, target that. Okay, rousing read is nice. Seven cards left. Should be enough. They'll chump there. Makes sense. We even have a wall to block the Pride Walk in. Then we can take to the skies. We'll make them pay extra, because this way they won't be able to hold up Titanic. Yep. Sure. And we got them dead. They're going to bring back their sky scanner to chump this guy. Tell him good game. Whew! That was amazing. Got the win. Yeah. Battling back. Whew. Feels good. Welcome to round 8. Definitely going to keep this one. We are the gatekeeper for Monsieur Digman. Blue deck seems like a great matchup for us. We're going to get all the maximum value out of this. Hold up card draw, hold up lofty. I doubt that this 3-drop will want to counter. Hi, Whirly. Shipwreck Dowser plus Sublime, we have the combo. My cat's right here saying hello. I don't know if you can see her right now. Take action. Doing well. Back lofty. Sure. Sure. Oh, another frantic would be so good, but we're looking for land. Booyah. I hope they don't have a counter. Return this guy. Looks like this game over. Sorry, Stan. Hate to do it to you. Ugh. We just want to draw land here. We have infinite value, so we don't need to worry. Bounce this, copy this, draw a card. We will attack them for 3 as well. Don't want Rousing Read, I just want to land. And now I have 3 of them, so yeah, things are looking grim for the opponent. And I'll soon be able to have Lofty Denial backup. Sure. This is magic as Garfield intended, right? This is like one of the first times I think I drew one card off this, or maybe none. Yeah, I would love a mountain. Thank you, deck. Bounce this guy, target this guy, target me. I could almost kill them. Just don't hold up Lofty Denial, though. You can't even have Ugin because of our Lofty Denial. Charge! Trigger, 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 trigger. I could have cast another Sublime Epiphany on that. Good game. Shipwrecking. Whew, up to 64. I'll see you folks in the next round. Welcome to another round. We're gonna keep this. We have our combo in our hand, the combo that we failed before, but haha, no shocking for you. We'll keep a red source. I like it. I have my LSE Beavers jersey on. The London School of Economics basketball team. I did hit record, right? I did hit record. Let's go. Okie doke. Okay, now attack me, Library Larcenist. I'm ready. We just don't want this card to get rolling. Resolves. It does get blanked by a wall of runes, which is really funny. That's a heck of a card. I like Lofty Denial. I would love lands, but I'm going to be drawing two cards with this. I'll make this trade. I'm okay with it. I was going to try and dissuade them from attacking with their Larcenist. I don't care about the Keen Glide Master enough. And I want to keep my Riddle Form around so I have a counter. My, like, Lofty will be a counter that's actually effectual. Decline to make it a creature. I think they might have Scorching. I wonder what happens if I copy Riddle Form. Wall of Rune's just dominating the Pitchburn Devils right now. I like it. We're dominating in the paint right now. Ooh, they have a white source. Yikes. I wonder if they have a Sublime Epiphany. Sure. I don't mind drawing a land. I should have scryed those still. Okay, this is the turn. Not the most devastating one I've ever had, I will say. Now we'll start scrying, I guess. I think they might have a kill spell for this, but I'm not sure. I wonder what the heck they have. This is going to be a 2-3 now. Shock does nothing. That's a heck of a draw. Well, we have shields down, so if they have Ugin, we're screwed. Okay, we are totally fine. What could they have in their hand? We're gonna scry once, I think. Heck yes, sign me up. combo has been assembled. We're just going to keep drawing with this thing. I am kind of afraid of an Ugin. Like, teensy little bit. Because Ugin -2 owns me. Browsing read, nice, nice. Don't really fancy that. I'm just gonna be careful here. Play it safe. We're gonna get an 11th land so we can do this immediately. They could kill this in response, I don't really care. Held her down. Okay, next turn I have 11 mana. So Shipwreck Dowser and to combo them. Weird, I don't know what they have. They have... Let's just get back our Sublime with this thing first. And then we will attack with our Riddle form again. And on end step, we'll bounce the Pitchburn. Sure. They have killed it. And we can copy our 8/8. Booyah. I don't know what's been in their hand. Okay. That was a slow game, but we got the win. Ooh, top 50. Let's go. Whew. We've gone up like 80 spots on this draft. Feeling much better about those misclicks that I had over and misclick and losing to Mill. But yeah, whew, got the win. Fantastic deck and a fantastic run to get into the top 50. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. If you were watching this on YouTube, in the comments section down below, leave #InfiniteCombo to let me know you made it all the way to the end, because the Shipwreck Dowser plus Sublime Epiphany combo was pretty insane. We also only had 6 like actual creatures in our deck. Like, sure, Wizardry was a creature, but We did not have a ton of creatures, and Riddle Form was kind of a creature, but we did not have a lot of creatures in this deck, but it still got the job done. Absolutely a fantastic draft. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section down below, hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Join the Discord server in the pinned comment and description. It's free for everybody. And yeah, that is going to do it for this draft. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.